God, there's nobody there. I can't see a damn thing. Anyway, there we go. People like us. Is this how you, when you go into a room, you don't know anybody, is this what you do? Do you wander around the room thinking, who the hell should I speak to? I don't know anybody. Just talk to anybody. Well, the theory is, a lady Astor years ago invented this thing called people like us. She's on the left-hand side there, on the right-hand side. And it was the people who were like you, they used the word lavatory, not to use the word toilet, etc., etc. Nancy Astor was another one who used something later on, and her quote was from Winston Churchill, said, if I gave you coffee with poison in, if you were my husband, and he said, if you were my wife, I would take it. All these people on these slides are people I know. So every single person on these slides, I know at least one of them. So, now then, my theory in life is you go to a room like this, you don't know anybody, you talk to the best looking people. Simple as that. And it's very easy because, in general, people who look better are more successful. So if you want to talk to them, successful people, find the best looking ones. And there's a nice one down there because I know her, and I spoke to her before. But that's a minor exercise. Mainly, if you're going to talk to people, if you talk to people who are exactly like you, you're going to get confirmation of everything you believe in. But in reality, in this world, particularly in Bristol now, there's a lot of diversity. And diversity can be visible and non-visible. So obviously you can tell people by their races, sometimes you can tell people by their sexuality, sometimes you can tell people may be disabled, you can tell you can't tell. They're the ones who will get you to learn more things. Simple as that. Equal opportunities law insists in law you've got to do lots of different things, but in reality legislation will not take you into corporate reputation, and it will not take you into marketing competitiveness. The more different people you have in your organisation, the better off you are with understanding your customers. If you've got customers like your staff, you've got a much better chance of actually managing to get things together. Now, I've worked in 17 countries, so one of the things I'm always very wary of is being stereotyped. I know if you hear all this stuff about if you're in an Arab country, people behave like this. If you're in France, people behave like this. One of my key challenges is always to make sure that A, I take notice of what's supposed to happen, but B, always remember everyone's individual. So the key point about that is just recognise the stereotypes, but don't actually follow them all. Now, what I end up with eventually is you come across people where, all being well, you get lots of people are labelled. You're labelled by who they are, what they're labelled by. So, if you look at different ages, different races, everyone's got different things to offer. So go and talk to the young people. Go and talk to the old people. I've learned things like always use Twitter and never use websites. And what you see at the end of this, it's a website. So that's what you've got. Now then, one of the key points I've got to say is people will teach you to eat different things. They'll teach you to talk differently. If they use languages, their body movements are always going to be the same, even though the languages are different. So if you're talking to people who don't understand your language very well, just learn from them and say, this is how I've learned stuff, talking very simple language, and away you go. Now then, these are some of my clients in the UAE. Great people to know. But you can always get into trouble very easily with that. Now then, when you come across new people, what do? Do you go and talk about beautiful people? This slide has got 3 labels on. One says Muslim, one says gay, and one says black. Now, if you had to choose between them, who would you go and talk to? I used this slide recently and someone said, do you know anybody who's gay and Muslim and black? And I said, well, actually, yes, I do. And he's in Sweden now, and I can get him together. But the point is, never ever, you can learn from that. You can learn from racism, sexuality, everything. Learn what people want to tell you. Learn what people tell things to you. Now then, again, these are folk in Bristol. Again, lots of different races, lots of different messages they've got. That's me, not with the Queen, but that's it. So thank you very much for listening to me.